Hi, my dear CEOs and fellow hamsters. Today we're taking a step closer to financial freedom. From a mindset trick to the questions you need to ask before getting married, I've got some great financial wisdom for you. India's got a serious game of Monopoly going on. How do you have folks living on peanuts right next door to people with enough cash to fill a hamster cage with gold flakes? I mean, if I lived that close to Scrooge McDuck, you'd best believe I'd be knocking on that door asking for a snack. But turns out, there's a reason we're not all out there raiding the rich. It's all in our little brains. Let's see how this works.
In India, you have massive disparities between the poor and the rich. I mean, you're talking people who make $8 a month and people who are billionaires. How does that happen? Like, how do those people who live near a billionaire not just go knock the door down and take food? And they said, our brain has developed mechanisms of coping with other people's success. And I've seen it in my own brain when I see people more successful than me. One of the reactions is people think that the person got lucky. This is one common reaction. The other one is that the person inherited it. The other one is that they stole it. And only the fifth one is thinking, wow, that maybe that person has something I can learn from. That's how they got successful.
Apparently, our tiny hamster thinkers are wired to just sit there. But hey, if you're stuck in your little plastic tunnel, you might as well try to learn a trick or two, right? Or, just sit there and pretend you're not totally jealous. That works too, I guess. If you've ever caught yourself spending your hard-earned coins on shiny toys and fancy wheels, we need to have a chat. Let's take a look through a list of 3 big no's, so you don't end up in the broke hamster express for the rest of your days.
Here are 3 things not to do until you're rich. Number 1, buy a luxury lifestyle. 5-star hotels, expensive meals and designer clothes. The list goes on. These things will keep you poor. Instead, buy assets like stocks, crypto and real estate, and then you can live the life you want. Number 2, drive an expensive car. A vehicle is the number 1 biggest wealth killer. It's the most expensive thing you'll ever buy that will go down in value. Just buy something cheap and run it into the ground. Number 3, lend to friends and family. This always leads to trouble as they're never going to pay you back. If you really want to help them out, give them the money and call it charity.
So you're telling me that if I want to be rich, I've got to stop living like a luxury-loving fluffball and keep my paws off 5-star pellets and premium bedding? I mean, my wheel's the only vehicle I need, but still, I can't cruise around in style and let my hamster cousins near my snack stash. Lesson learned. Speaking of things that sucks up cash quicker than a hamster vacuuming up snacks, before you roll your wheel down the aisle and get married, let's get real about the 3 questions you need to ask to avoid turning your new fam into a disaster. Forget flowers and love songs. Let's talk debt. Trust me, this is the kind of pillow talk that could save you some serious stashes down the road.
What do you think is the 3 biggest questions everyone should ask before they get married?
I think one of the best questions to ask is not about, you don't want to ask about, hey, how much debt do you have on the first date? What's your income? Like, what's your life plan? What you want to ask is, what are your views around debt? Just what are your values when it comes to building wealth? That to me says a whole lot more about a person than their current status. And so I'm never going to be like, you better find someone who's debt free, who's it's not about that. It's about where are they trying to go? Because if they're trying to hang on to debt, and they're going to continue to spend more than they make, probably not someone I want to be with long term. We see that one of the number 1 causes of divorce in America today is money fights and money problems. Wow. And so if you can avoid that on the front end, which I think you can, by asking some good questions like, what are your values around money? What was it like growing up in your house? Was money talked about? I think that's a really interesting question because it says a lot about how you think about money and your paradigm around money.
I thought the biggest question was, are you cool with having a hamster hotter than you? Turns out we gotta ask about debt and values like we're negotiating some big deal. Honestly, if they spend more than they make, that's a red flag. Better ask the tough questions now, or you might end up fighting over that last piece of lettuce. For more wisdom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. And remember, hamsters are power, one for all and all for one. Bye. Hey friends, and welcome to a new episode. Ever wondered how to succeed in the financial world? I bet you have. The internet is swamped with theories and methods. It's enough to make your head spin. So, I've done some digging, listened to experienced folks, and picked out a few videos that could really help. Like this one, which dives into trading strategies. Let's check it out.
What is my strategy? I truly just trade with trend lines and some support and resistance. I always use trend lines. I'm gonna come in with 1 touch point, 2 touch points here. And this is platinum. This is a great example. We've got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 touch points here on this upward trend line. I would get into this position only because the trend line was broken. So we'll just say, for example purposes, we've got 1, 2, 3 touch points on this downward trend line, and then boom, we've got a break of a trend. I would take a long position here. Now we are following up. We're going up, 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 up. I would stay in this position for as long as the trend is happening. And my indication for when it is no longer trending in that direction is when price breaks that trend. Did I know January 2nd was going to be the day that platinum no longer trended up? I don't know. So I will close my position and take my profit when the price of platinum is no longer trending along the current trend that I'm in. That is essentially my strategy in a nutshell. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.
Wow, with a strategy like that, you could become a real fortune teller. I especially love the part about the nutshell. I've got loads of those at home. But before you dive into trading, you need some startup capital, right? Well, I found a video on how to boost your funds. Grab your notebooks.
You can get to $1 million working for somebody else, working really hard on the same things. But if you want to go to that $10 million mark, you got to do something different.
What do you need to do differently?
Typically, I think you have to get some skin in the game. This is when you have to start earning not just with your time and brain, but also with your money. So you've got to invest in something. You've got to understand deal structuring. You've got to get a little equity in something. You've got to become an owner in some way, shape, or form. It could be an owner inside of a business, but you've got to get some sort of upside potential. And I think that is where the public school system kind of stops teaching us.
Yeah, they don't teach it at all.
No.
Exactly. They didn't teach this in my school either, but they should have. No worries though, you've got me. Don't miss new episodes to always stay a step ahead in the profit race. But are knowledge and skills really that crucial for trading? Many say it's more about luck. Well, let's hear what the experts have to say on this topic.
Do you believe that traders have a fair chance if they have the right education?
Okay, it's a good question. Look, if you learn the game and you understand how trading works, and you become a successful trader, you learn technical analysis, you learn price action, you learn about risk management, which means stop orders. The stock market gives you this amazing tool that can protect your downside risk. What does that mean? That means if I put 100 shares to buy at 50, I can put in what's called a stop order at 49.5, so that if the trade goes against me, I'm not going to lose. I can identify how much I'm willing to lose, and so think about it. I'm willing to lose $50 to make $200 every day of the week, but I'm not willing to risk 200 to make 50, because if I have 1 losing trades, I need 4 winners to get even. So the rules of the game need to be identified, need to be learned by everybody. When somebody is a successful trader, they're not worrying about what the institutions are doing.
Proper analysis and knowing how to use the right tools are what distinguish a real expert. It's a pity when I started, there wasn't so much wisdom on the internet. I had to run quite a few laps before I learned anything valuable. Truly, what a fantastic time to learn trading. Don't miss the insights we share here to enhance your chances of success. See you in the next episode, friends. Hit like, share this video with your buddies, and remember, hamsters are power, one for all and all for one.